I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe.
We're excited to bring you another regular episode after all these special episodes we've been putting out. all three of them. How's it going, man? How you doing?
Yeah, tired. Good. Excited. I don't know. Ask me something else.
In that order. Yeah, dude, I'm the same way, dude. I am today I'm tired as well. I'm tired. What was the second one? Good?
Good, yeah. I'm
good
tired
and excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Excited, yeah.
Yeah. I listen, I agree. Same thing. I'm excited to hear what you'll be talking about today, because as I mentioned last week, last week was sort of a good week for me. I saw a lot of good things and I mentioned all of them. And now this week was another one where I just had like one thing that I watched basically. But thankfully it was something that I did really enjoy. So I'll be happy to talk about that as well. But I'll be happy to hear what you'll be talking about, because you told me that you have a lot of things to talk about this week.
Yeah, I had a lot of time to watch stuff because I was planning on learning some things for uni. So the only reasonable thing to do is spend all day watching Netflix.
Absolutely. Dude, That's always if you plan to learn, that's where you lost it already.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I watched 2 minutes of a uni stream yesterday, and then was like, "All right, I'm done for today."
Is that going to be a pick?
Yeah, it was very interesting, but
yeah,
no, it's not very accessible.
One of those TED Ed episodes that you talked about. It's like a very short episode.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So another thing that we haven't done in a while, which might be interesting for people who listen to the show for the first time, is if we give a quick summary of what it's about, right? Because we sort of now gotten into the groove of it. We just start talking about the best thing that we've seen, but it is in the title, obviously.
Yeah.
And you could sort of put it together, but do you want to just tell everyone how the regular episodes work?
Yeah, sure. So if you've only watched the special episodes or you're new to this podcast altogether, Flo and me talk about the best thing that we've seen all week, which could be any kind of visual medium, a show, a movie, a painting. There we go again. A YouTube video.
I thought you didn't want to do it again. Just came organically. It's good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It had to be. It had to be said. Yeah, so we picked something that we thought was interesting and that was relatively new. So we set ourselves a limit of about 6 months.
Yeah.
So we pick more recent things.
We only broke that rule like twice in 13 episodes.
Matter.
No, it doesn't matter. But we were like 7 or 8 months, so it wasn't that bad.
It was right around that time.
Yeah. So it's all about, that tough choice of picking that one best thing that I had last week, that I don't have this week, but maybe you'll have this week.
Yeah, it was definitely a tougher week than usually.
That's good.
Like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what you're going to pick.
Right. Who started last time?
I'm not sure. I think it was you, wasn't it, with the Midnight Gospel?
Yes.
But
yes,
if you have some honorables, then maybe you just want to talk about those, because I just have my best pick this week.
All right. So I'll mention 2 things before we get to yours, which is one thing that you mentioned, I think, like 2-3 episodes ago.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Which is the show Unbelievable. I finally got around to watching it, and it was amazing. I loved it. I thought the performances were great story, and just extremely exciting to watch. I was on the edge of my seat, figuratively speaking, and because I was lying down on my bed.
Yeah.
The TV's opposite my bed.
I appreciate you clearing that up.
Yeah. I want you to have a very vivid image of me watching something.
I do now. Is it blanket over your body or no?
It depends on the temperature.
Right.
Usually wearing pajamas, if that helps.
Yeah. No, it doesn't, but...
What, do you want me to be naked or something?
I don't want you to be anything. I just, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It hurts.
So
anyway,
you were lying down naked watching Unbelievable.
I wasn't naked. It's not the right show to be naked.
Oh, it isn't. It's sort of the worst show to be naked.
Yeah, it really is. So yeah, great show, and I thought just the amount of episodes were just perfect.
Yeah,
we built
not
up
too long for
tense
you.
story, and
Did you look up because it's based on a true story. Did you look up the real people? Because sorry.
Yeah, I looked up something about the main protagonist.
Yeah.
And how much of that is true. What happened, apparently her name wasn't mentioned. She did anonymously told the story. But yeah, it's a crazy thing.
There was I thought one particular actor who portrays a certain bad guy in the show, he looks almost identical to the real person, which I thought was really interesting and well cast as well. So I think the entire cast, I mean, obviously the two main detectives there, I just love them both. I thought they were so good.
I thought they were really good chemistry, and I thought it was really great because one of the detectives, not Tony Collette, but the other one,
Merritt Weaver.
Yes, I thought her role was quite interesting because it was not so two-dimensional, because you just see her as this very engaged detective, really trying to solve those cases, and she seems like a really nice guy when she talks to the victims. Really tries to be tactful.
Yeah,
but then you see her investigating, and how she treats the other cops is quite strict, and she really has high expectations and kind of come across as a bit of an asshole. But
yeah. I thought she did a great job.
Character, yeah.
The thing is, she reminded me so much of one of my uni professors, like a ridiculous amount. Not just from her look.
Okay.
She really looks almost identical, and also that sort of nice but strict attitude that she had.
Yeah.
And when I was watching the show, I had an exam coming up from that uni professor, so it was a bit weird to sort of. I was always reminded of that exam when I was watching the show. I was like, I gotta start studying, otherwise she'll be mad. I'm not doing my job properly.
Well, that's a good professor.
Yeah, no, she, I always respected her. She knows what she's doing. All right,
yeah, a great show, and I actually tried to watch it quite recently after you told me about the show.
Yeah, I think it's only I think it was episode 11.
Yeah.
So it's not been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah.
And the thing is, when I tried watching it for the first time, I started quite late, and it opens up with a disclaimer of this is a real, inspired by true events, and it's quite harsh.
Yeah. And
so I didn't start watching until a couple of days ago, because, I don't know.
Didn't feel in the mood?
Yeah.
You what princess film did you put on instead? It's like that story you told. What was that?
I haven't seen a
Haunting of Hill House
recently.
That was like one of the, I don't know when that was, episode 5, something like that, when you started watching Haunting of Hill House, and then you said, nah, not today. And then
yeah.
watched some princess film instead. Yeah. Good memories. Yeah.
No, I didn't watch the princess film instead. I just watched Princess Kaguya like a day after.
Right. I think we just joked about you putting on a princess film. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that was one show that I thought was just great, and really worth watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing that I watched is, after I watched Unbelievable, I was kind of in the mood for another limited series, something that has between, I don't know, 4 and 10 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
And I found another Netflix show, which I watched, which is When They See Us. I don't know if you heard about it.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
Now, that is one show that I've been meaning to watch for a long, long time, and I've never seen it. But I know about it, and I know how good it's supposed to be.
It's really good, and the thing is, I was quite surprised because I started watching it the same day I finished Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
it's a harsh double feature, isn't it? Like
yeah, the thing is, the theme is quite similar, because it's also about a rape case, and that was not on purpose when I chose the show. Yeah. But yeah, it is a tough subject, and it's quite tough because it just goes from bad to worse, and what's about. It's just.
Do you want to just give a quick summary, to freshen my memory up as well?
It's based on a true story back in 1989, I think. A couple of boys from a rather poor neighborhood in New York went out to have some fun in Central Park and harassing some of the park goers. But
they
the
went
thing
out
is,
to have some fun, just harassing some. Yeah,
yeah,
I love doing that on my weekends as well.
Like 14, 15, 16 years old, and well, they're young.
Yeah,
and doing some stupid stuff. And it's a big group going out. Most of them don't even know each other. Just a group, I don't know, going there and I don't know, harassing cyclists.
Bikers.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sure. And even 2 or 3 guys of them beat somebody up. And the thing is, on the same night, a woman was raped and left for dead and nearly killed in the park. And the police started running up people and arrested a lot of those kids and kind of forced them to kind of get a confession out of them.
Right.
Although all the evidence was speaking against that they were involved because none of the DNA of the boys were found there, and they were at the other side of a park, and the timeline didn't match up and everything. But the police were so convinced that they kind of changed some facts around and made it seem like they were guilty, and kind of the public thought they were guilty, and even Donald Trump, which kind of plays a role in the show, actually sent out a statement and paid for an advertisement to bring back death penalty in New York so those kids could be executed.
Wow, even in 1989?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And it's just about this whole story of the kids, I don't know, trying to deal with this stuff and how they were treated and how they were perceived and how they perceived things and why they...
So is this like also a courtroom drama as well?
Well, it has 4 episodes. Episode 1 is more about the incident. Episode 2 is about the court sessions.
Right.
And 3 and 4 is kind of the aftermath of what happened, if they were found guilty or not guilty, and how it changed their lives.
Gotcha.
And it's an intense story.
Yeah, it's done by, I think, Ava DuVernay.
Yeah, that's right. The director of 13 and Selma.
Yeah, and she now did that. Didn't she do the recent flop with Oprah? What was that called? Oh God, that colorful film. Oh,
the Disney film.
Yeah.
The God, what was it called?
If you know what I mean, just by me saying the colorful film, that says a lot.
Let me look it up. No, what did she?
Yeah, I'm looking it up now as well. It's called
A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, that's the one you thought about.
Yeah.
That's the one I meant. Yeah, the colorful film.
Yeah,
4.2. Yeah, that was supposed to be really bad
during the Oscars, where they walked in and people were watching the film.
Yes,
and surprised them.
Yeah.
And you just saw how excited they were.
Well, not to watch the film anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's I've not seen a lot of her work, but I know that she's seen as one of the very promising and great directors working today.
Yeah, she's quite good as far as I can see.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. And When They See Us for sure. I want to watch that. It's just, you know me. I've been I've been watching a lot more shows recently, but it just takes me a while to get into them.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's like an hour per episode.
Yeah,
maybe more. Yeah.
All right.
So let's get to the best thing you've seen.
Yeah, the best thing that I've seen, and
sorry, and before I forget,
sure,
I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but Unbelievable, like you mentioned before, is on Netflix, and When They See Us is also on Netflix.
That's to Netflix. Yeah. All right. I'll piggyback on that because my best pick is also on Netflix. I believe it is a Netflix production. It's a movie. It's called The Half of It.
All right.
Have you heard of this? Watched it?
Yes. I haven't watched it, no.
You haven't watched it? Okay. I think this is now like, obviously Extraction is one of the biggest Netflix films, but The Half of It is sort of now topping the charts, or maybe just on second place, because that came out like a couple of days ago as well. And everyone seems to have watched it by now. And it's really, really interesting, man. I mean, it's a love story. It's a teeny love story drama. And I think you would like this a lot as well. It's about a girl who she's sort of known in her school for helping out other students to write their papers. They like pay her like $20 and she writes the papers for them, every homework.
It's a good price.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny actually, cause one of the teachers, she has like a very, a nice relationship with that student. And she knows that she's the one who writes almost all of the essays. And she's like, but she doesn't say anything because she goes to her and she's like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna tell anyone because I'd rather read your essays than what they would actually write. I thought that was quite funny. And it's about her. And, so a guy comes up to her, and he wants her expertise in writing to help him write a letter to his crush because he's not very good with words and he wants her to help him with that. And so she doesn't want to do that because she also has a crush on the same girl.
All right, the same girl. Twist, yeah.
That's where the drama kicks in, baby. And so she doesn't want to help him at first, but then she's in need of money, and then obviously he offers her some money for it, and then she does it. And then it's really about sort of it's an interesting premise because then she sort of writes a lot of letters to the girl. Obviously, the girl believes those letters are from him. And then they also like send each other text messages, and it even goes that far that they do that behind the guy's back, right? So he doesn't even, she's writing she pretends to be him, but he doesn't even know it anymore. They just spend all night writing text messages to each other, and he doesn't even know that. But what makes it even more interesting, I think, is that the guy is not a bad guy or a douche at all. He's actually kind of a likable dork as well. So it's not like you have a prick and she helps him, but it's clear that to everyone that she's going to end up with her because he doesn't deserve her, if you know what I mean. So it's actually a really nice sort of triangle between the three of them, and it's they develop a very nice friendship with each other, the two, the guy who writes the letters and the girl who helps him. And it's sort of about them, it's about the two of them and how the relationship develops between them individually with the crush, and then all three of them. And it's really interesting and really good. And I was surprised because Netflix puts out a lot of these rom-coms, teeny things, and I rarely watch them, but I've heard very good things about the half of it, and it's got very good ratings. And I watched it.
Surprised.
Yeah, it's really decent, man. It's really good. It reminded me of these good teeny dramas over the last couple of years. I don't want to put it on the same level as those films I'm going to mention now, but like The Perks of Being a Wallflower or Earl and the Dying Girl. No, you haven't watched it, man. I think you would like it too. I mean, I think The Perks of Being a Wallflower is a better film, but it's just a good, well thought out and well written teeny drama that feels pretty realistic at times as well. It's got some cliche moments for sure that I was like, that was unnecessary just a tiny bit. And as you mentioned with, what was that show? Sex Education in our first episode. Yeah. You talked about everything just working out, which doesn't happen in real life. There's elements of that as well. I mean, just not spoiling anything. I really, no, genuinely.
Say spoiler.
No, really, I genuinely don't, I'm not talking about the grand story of it all. I'm just like specific moments that then they run into each other. Of course, they run into each other there in that weird spot that no one is in. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're there at the same place so they can spend time together. It's just things that I wish would happen in real life that don't actually happen.
Yeah, when you're younger, you kind of expect those things to happen, and you just sit there and nobody's coming along. It's quite
the saddest thing I've heard. Yeah. But it's got apart from those few moments that took me out of it a little bit, it's got some very, very good writing at times as well. Like really some moments where I was really impressed. So it's if you're into that teeny romance movie category, then I would recommend you giving this a go. It's a nice little thing to watch and enjoy.
Yeah, the funny thing is that just shows how much covers can influence you, because when I saw the film and I saw the cover and kind of looked more professional than, I don't know, To All the Boys I Love.
Yeah.
This Netflix rom-com teeny film which I didn't like at all.
Oh, you didn't like?
No,
I thought you liked it.
No.
Yeah.
But the thing is, then I kind of looked at the screenshots, and it kind of plays, when you hover over a title on Netflix, as probably most of you know, it kind of plays a short preview, which I actually kind of hate because it really stresses me out. It kind of starts playing something when you just hover over something.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I saw that on the screenshot, it kind of looked more like the classic, I don't know, rom-com teeny film, which I am kind of sick of. I don't know.
Yeah.
The performances in the story are always quite similar. So I wasn't sure about that film, but hearing you talk about it might be better than I originally thought.
Yeah, it's so interesting because when I saw the poster, which was the first thing that I've seen of this film, I was 100% certain that the girl in the foreground, she's like blurred out a little bit, but I thought it was Lena Headey from Game of Thrones. I thought it was Cersei, 100%. And I'm looking at it now, and I still don't believe that it's not her. It's the girl that they both like love, or they both have a crush on, who's not Lena Headey. She's a young actress, but no, that sounds wrong. She's a different actress. And even now looking at it, I can't believe that that's not Lena Headey. She doesn't look like it in the film. Like, I would never mix those two up. But on the poster, I think it looks so much like Lena Headey. It's crazy.
It's also kind of weird because the poster makes it seem like more of a drama than it is.
Are you looking at it now as well?
Not right now, no.
Yeah. Well, it's
I remember it.
It's a drama, yeah. Drama, rom-com / drama. It's got some heartfelt moments for sure, like every good rom-com should.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it, man. I was surprised I was surprised about how much I enjoyed it. It's really, really good. Really, really good. I would put it up there with The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Shut up.
I don't know why that's so insulting to you.
Because I loved that film.
Yeah, and I like this film.
No, it's all right. No, don't take it personally.
I wouldn't compare. Perks of Being a Wallflower is a better film. It's a better film.
Sorry, I'm just a very opinion. Yeah, I can't even pronounce it.
Opinionated
man.
Yeah, but I wasn't bashing it. I was comparing
it.
It made no sense.
I might try it.
Your outrage is making no sense today.
All right.
What's the best thing you've seen?
Yeah, it seems like this episode we have only picks that are quite accessible to nearly all people because we got 3 Netflix things so far. And my best thing that I've seen is a YouTube thing.
Oh, wow.
A YouTube video, YouTube channel.
Yes.
And it's Oversimplified. Have you ever heard of it?
Is that a channel or is that a video?
It's a channel. It's a history channel.
I believe I've heard of this, yes.
Yeah, because, it's drawn those quite simple stick block figures, and it's oversimplified history lessons, pretty much. So there's this category, mini wars, for example, which is about, very unknown wars that are kind of quite funny and how they started and how they turned out. And there are these series of bigger wars, I guess, where the creator talks about American Civil War, World War II, or something like that. And
yeah, I'm looking at it now.
For those bigger videos, they're about 20 to 30 minutes long. There are 2 videos per war, pretty much.
Right.
And the guy doesn't bring out a lot of content. So it's like every 3-4 months he brings out a video.
Yeah.
And his most recent video is about Henry VIII, the King of England, which most of us probably know because he killed a lot of his wives. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the founder of the Church of England. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting things, or there were a lot of interesting things going on in his life. And yeah, it's an interesting look on how he became that person, and interesting theory and how he got worse and how he became quite a tyrant in his late life. And
so is this comedic as well, or is this just like factual?
It's extremely interesting and more factual. But yeah, it's told in a very humorous way, and
nice.
It is, like the title says, oversimplified.
Yeah.
It kind of tells you, right, and then he did this, and then because he got bored, he invaded France. Let's go. Which is a very simple version of what happened. But yeah, I guess he was looking for glory, and it's extremely funny. There's at least one laugh out moment for me every episode, and I watched all of them, and it doesn't say much because there aren't all that many episodes.
Yeah,
because he doesn't bring out a lot of episodes. But yeah, it's great.
Well, quality takes time, I guess. And does he animate that as well?
I'm not sure if he's alone.
Yeah.
I am not sure.
I would.
It seems like it.
I mean, I'm looking at it now. By now, he's got like 3.4 million subscribers. I would think he's got a team by now.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And the thing is, he also posted because his Henry VIII video was #1 trending on YouTube. So he's a bigger channel, and wouldn't be surprised if a lot of our listeners have heard of him.
Yeah. Is this something that you found, because obviously you study history, is that like something you found doing your research for something like that?
No. I found like between one or 2 years ago, I guess.
Gotcha.
But
is that now
I wouldn't
something
recommend him for actually learning something for history.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just write down, then he wanted to invade France or whatever.
It's like a short video essay about a big topic, because you can't talk about World War II in 2 20-minute episodes, and not the way he talks about it, because there's a lot of humor in it, and he kind of skips a lot of details because it's entertainment more than education, I guess.
Gotcha.
But it's still, you still learn quite a lot of fun facts and just little quirks of the rules back in the day, and
I think that's always
how
the best
things operated. Yeah,
the best combination, if you can learn something through humor.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I mean, that's sort of what sticks in your brain.
It does
the most.
It just gives you kind of a simple overview of things if you're not very familiar with, I don't know, the French Revolution or something like that. If you're, I don't know, 14 years old and you are not that interested in history.
Yeah, and you just went to the park and just harassed some bikers and look up Oversimplified. You mean Jesus Christ? It's called a callback. It's
I know, but the story kind of developed in
I'm
quite
teaching
a
you
harsh
something
way.
through humor. It's called a callback.
But yeah, the events definitely stick more with you just because of the humor, and it's easier to remember things that way, especially when they're animated, because learning with a visual medium is always easier, I think.
For sure.
Yeah, and he also has 2 videos about Adolf Hitler, which are blocked in Austria. Which
oh, no way!
Yet. Yeah,
gotta get on that VPN.
That brings us to our first sponsor. What a great segue that would be. NordVPN.
Yeah, NordVPN. Use the code.
Next time.
Yeah. Best thing at checkout for 10% off. Yeah, I'll look into that. That sounds interesting. I mean, I've looked up a couple of history videos on YouTube, especially when I had some exams as well. I had some history exams recently. Yeah. And I checked out some more, a bit more straightforward and a bit more accurate ones. But as I said, I always like to combine it with humor, so I'll check it out. Yeah,
it's great. And like I said, while some of the videos are like 20 to 30 minutes long, like the mini wars, like the emu war or the football war,
right?
Like, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes. So,
is that like because we talked about this before we recorded, that we had not the issue, but we talked about what happened if we picked the same thing. Like if you were to choose something as the best thing that we have already talked about, like if I hadn't talked about Unbelievable, would that still be the best thing? Or
probably, yeah, probably.
Which one now, Unbelievable or Oversimplified?
Unbelievable.
Gotcha. I mean, listen, we then decided that it might be best to give some variety, and obviously just not to talk about the same thing over and over again, which we now did, but like not as the pick, if that makes sense.
That's why I still mentioned it and why I want to talk about it.
For sure.
Let's say officially Oversimplified is the pick of the week.
Yeah. For the record.
Yeah.
I
Plus, Unbelievable is quite not exactly in our time frame. I think it's like a little over 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's I broke that rule with that as well. Yeah. How dare you?
No,
get down from your high horse there. You can pick it too.
You
can pick it. Yeah, that's right. Now I wouldn't choose it anymore. Now it's like way past the date. I'll look forward to the episode where we like both pick the same thing.
It would be great, yeah.
Because I have an idea of how we could like go around that. Like not like I want that to happen, but I have an idea for the
tiebreaker. I'm not even sure how that would work. But yeah, well, maybe it might happen when the cinemas open back up and we see a new blockbuster
Right.
together or whatever.
Right. The closest thing we got was Hidden. What was it called? Invisible Man and Waves. Because I was sure that you would pick. Well, I wasn't sure. I thought you'd pick Invisible Man as well. But you're right. I mean, you mentioned that all of our picks this week are like accessible. I mean, there's not much else to watch these days, is there? It's got to be something to stream.
There are always other ways to watch things. I'm not gonna mention any of them, but if you wanted to,
well, we haven't had that yet in our 14 episodes.
Not so far. But also had a couple of films that I actually paid for on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. But that's also like accessible, I would say. I mean, it's not like they are.
Yeah, but I don't know how many people are actually willing to pay for things when they already have.
Well, you got to be convincing. You got to be convincing in your recommendation. You got to say that's worth $4 or whatever it is.
Yeah, sure. Watch The Office. It's like $2.50. No, sorry, $5 per season.
Right.
Or it was. There was a
well, I think everyone has watched that already. I think you're the last person.
You would think so, yeah. But again, we're not in the US, so.
No, but that has reached the whole world.
Yeah, sure. But I don't know that many people in Austria that have actually watched.
Really?
The Office.
Oh.
Well, I know quite a few, but there are more that haven't heard of it, or have heard of it, but haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. Too much to watch.
Yeah. That's why we're here to tell you the best thing to watch this week.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, is there anything else that we need to discuss, that we need to talk about? I mean, those are the two best things that we've seen, the two picks for this week.
I've seen something quite weird.
Yes,
and
please.
The weirdest thing about it was for me that it was produced by VIII.
Hold on.
News thing.
Yeah. Hold on. I know what you're talking about. I just forgot about what it was. Yeah. But I'm blanking. But I saw something produced by VIII quite recently. What was that? Hold on a second.
Well, the thing that I watched came out like 3-4 years ago, so it's not very recent.
Is this a film?
It is a film, yeah, with surprisingly well-known cast.
All right, give it to me.
The Bad Batch.
Is that the Jim Carrey one?
Jim Carrey, well, he doesn't speak a single word in this film, which is kind of weird.
Keanu Reeves,
Jason Momoa.
I have not seen this.
It's like the
big the poster with the yellow hot pants.
Yeah, with the winking face. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I don't even know what it's about anymore. Terrible ending.
Makes no sense. The whole story feels like it's.
What is it about?
Nothing. The one cool thing about this film is there is no exposition. There's nobody saying, "Oh well." There's
no Basil exposition. We can. What's it called? Austin Powers.
Yeah, for example. But the thing is, I really love that about films. Also in Blade Runner 2049, there's pretty much no exposition. He just does what he does. There's nobody like, well, his name is this. Have you heard of this hunter? And he's going after all those guys. There's in a small way, but not that much. The whole world isn't explained to you by somebody. You don't know what's going on. You just see like newspapers in the background that apparently the war of the USSR is still going on, or the USSR is still existing. And things like that, and the whole kind of thing.
I would say
how this world was created and is still existing isn't explained to you.
Yeah, I would say it is explained to you in a very, very smart and eloquent way. I would not say that there's no exposition in that.
No exposition, exposition at all. But there's nobody like the big villain holding a speech and explaining to you the whole fucking plot
of course,
the whole thing.
No,
and in this film, it's quite similar. I actually looked up. The main character doesn't speak a word for like first 20 minutes. And it's apparently post-apocalyptic. Or kind of, well, it seems to be, or it's a dystopian future more like. And apparently people who are exiled are called the Bad Batch, and they get a serial number tattooed, and then they get thrown to kind of the desert somewhere in Texas. And in this desert where they're exiled, it's kind of Mad Max style people fighting for their survival, cannibals and stuff like that. And the main character, whose name I am not sure about anymore, but that doesn't matter.
Who plays the main character?
Some model. No, she's some model. I don't know. She hasn't acted in a lot, but she was apparently the girlfriend of Bradley Cooper.
Model. Zoe Saldana.
No. Somebody else. I don't remember her name.
Irina Shayk. The girl who's together with Cristiano Ronaldo.
What an interesting name. Her name is, let me look it up, Suki Waterhouse.
Yes, that actually rings a bell. But didn't know that she was together with Brad.
She was also with Diego Luna, I think.
Wow, what a what a resume.
Don't judge her by that.
Sorry?
No, don't judge her by that.
I'm not judging. I was praising her.
No, the interesting thing is kind of, well, like I said, nothing is really explained, and she just gets thrown into this world. And apparently, when they release you from this prison into this thing, well, which I'm piecing together, I guess, because there are like hints hidden, because she gets out there and they give her like a bit of water and a cheeseburger.
Right.
And I guess they do that for everybody because outside the prison it's just littered with those pieces of paper, which I think the burgers were wrapped in.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. And she just goes out into this world and runs into some cannibals, and then stuff happens.
As you do,
Yeah. It's quite gruesome, but interesting.
So is this a horror film?
I think it's under the genre horror, actually, but I wouldn't call it horror in a million years. It's more like Mad Max, like over
dystopian.
the top action dystopian.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is this on Netflix as well?
It is. It was adopted by Netflix. I thought they bought the rights.
Adopted?
I'm pretty sure. Adopted, yeah.
Adapted?
No, they kind of took over the
Is that
rights.
what you say? Adopted? He adopted? They adopted
I
it?
guess.
They brought it into their catalog?
Yeah, they bought the rights.
They bought the rights. That is it.
So it now has the Netflix N on it, but it wasn't,
yes.
I think, originally a Netflix film.
I got you.
And yeah, it's quite weird and quite over the top. And it's interesting, but like I said, the ending is just, it makes no freaking sense.
Is it one of those endings that like suggests or hints at a sequel? No.
Not really. I mean, I guess could be possible, sure.
Right.
But the thing is just that the main character drives towards something, and it kind of seems very important. She has a very certain opinion of some things, and then she just does something else in the end, and you're like, all right, that's how it ends. But what was all the rest of the movie about?
Yeah. It's not a ringing endorsement for the Bad Batch.
It's not interesting, but no.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, it was apparently not filmed on a soundstage, so they actually filmed it in the desert and in Slab City, I think it's called. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's like a area in California where people live, and it's not officially, I think, a town, and people are not actually allowed to live there, but they do anyway, and they kind of live by their own laws, and nobody goes there.
Gotcha.
And a lot of the extras were actually from there, and were not giving any costumes. They just kind of showed up the way they look.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Vice also did a documentary about that. It's seen in Into the Wild. The main character actually went there, and they also filmed there.
Okay.
Slab City. I think might be where he meets, like, the woman, Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
In the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm sort of stuck on. There was something other that I watched that was produced by Vice, and I just can't think of it now. I know that they did, funnily enough, to bring it full circle, they did like a documentary on Blade Runner. Not a documentary, but like a behind the scenes look of Blade Runner 2049. I think that was Vice.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they did do documentary stuff, because
that's
kind of their bread and butter, but that they do motion pictures is kind of weird.
There was something recently that they produced, and I was taken aback by that as well. But I can't find it right now. Movies produced by Vice. I mean, the first thing that comes up is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I don't think that's what I'm thinking about. Oh, here. The Beach Bum? Maybe it was The Beach Bum. Yeah, The Beach Bum.
Great name. What is it?
Matthew McConaughey one, where he plays that. You must have heard of this. The Harmony Korine film, the new one, where he plays like a complete stoner, and I mean that's difficult to explain that film. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yes, he does.
It's like a sequel to Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, something like that.
What happened to his character?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if he plays the same character. I doubt he plays the same character. But I think that's the one I'm thinking about. that was produced. Yeah, I think that's it. That was produced with Vice Films, I think. Maybe that's it. I'm getting off topic here. I'm sorry. All right. Is that it? Or do we have anything else? I think that's it.
I think that's pretty much all. I've seen everything worth mentioning anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I was slacking this week. I got one thing. I'm sorry. I mean, I keep watching Defending Jacob. Obviously, they release those episodes weekly now.
Still good?
It's still good, man. I like there was one episode that I think the next one is comes out today again. It's always on Friday. We're recording this on Friday. Yeah, it's really good, man. This is really a show that everyone should see. No, I think everyone would like that. That's more like it. That's really, really good. And, yeah, I'll try and watch a bit more for the next episode. And then obviously in 2 weeks, we're back doing a special, and we talked about who we're going to do it on now. We prepared.
Well, the thing is, I looked it up, and I think I've seen everything big from that person.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm missing a couple of tiny, one big film that I need to watch, and just a couple of tiny things that I might get to. But I'm excited because, I mean, obviously we always try and choose someone that we have seen a lot of, and that person that we talked about is sort of that she fits that ooh.
Bit of a teaser.
She fits that criteria. So
it's tough to just not find somebody you've seen a lot of, because I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson has starred in a lot of films, but so many that it's kind of hard to watch everything, and also to find a lot that's actually good, because he starred in quite a few good films, mostly Quentin Tarantino films, and so much bad stuff that's kind of hard to do a top 10 list.
Yeah, I think the what you just said, I think the toughest thing is to give like a if we do like a top 10, I think you got to distinguish. If you do a top 10 list, then Samuel L. Jackson is difficult, because we want to be able to give like a list that is based on the fact that we've seen a lot, or pretty much basically everything from him, to be able to sort it down to 10. But he's done like, I don't know how many hundreds of films, and I've seen maybe 30 to 40. I don't know. So it's difficult to sort of list the top 10, because I've barely seen a quarter of his films. But if we go by the title of the show, it's sort of the best thing that we've seen from him. That's not saying that's the top 10 things he's ever done. It's just the best thing that we've seen from him.
No, sure, but it's just more interesting. Plus,
absolutely,
he's done so many just small side characters.
Yeah.
It's not that interesting to talk about.
For sure. So yeah, I'm excited about that special episode, because
me too.
We got a lot of good things to talk about there. That's going to come out in 2 weeks. And next week is going to be another regular episode, which hopefully I'll be able to talk about a bit more, even though I'm happy with my pick. And so hopefully we gave you some stuff to watch. A lot of Netflix recommendations once again.
Yeah. And I guess this is coming out on Monday. So
yes.
Happy Mother's Day in retrospect, I guess.
See, that's also interesting, because Mother's Day is like different in every country as well, because I think
that's kind of weird. It
is weird. Because when I scroll like Twitter, and I don't know when it is in the US, but I was like, what it's Mother's Day today? And I was like, no, it's in May. It's weird. Mother's Day, USA.
It's like earlier
that's actually the same day. No, really? It's Sunday, May 10th. What?
All right.
Mother's Day, UK, 14th of March in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was 2021. It's going to be in March. I don't know what is going on. I'm rambling. 22nd of March. It was 22nd of March, yeah. In the UK, it's on a different day. I don't know why.
Well, wherever you are, I hope you're having a nice Mother's Day, had a nice Mother's Day, are going to have, I don't know, have fun.
Yeah. Just
do something nice.
Do something nice. Stay safe. Watch those hands.
Watch a movie. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Always wash those hands.
Cook something. What was it?
Cook something good, yeah.
Cook something good.
Did I had something great yesterday. So.
What did you have? What was the best thing you ate?
Tagliatelle with mushrooms and cream sauce.
Wow.
Amazing.
What a way
al funghi.
What a way to end the show. Unbelievable. I mean, I don't think we can recover from that energy.
Easy. Yeah. All right.
Which one of our many outros should we use? Should we use watch things? Should we use cook something good? I'll leave it up to you. I'm gonna I'm
Any
gonna say-
others?
no.
Good night.
A
and good
painting.
luck. Is this copy?
Everything is copyrighted these
protected?
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it again, but just do one word differently.
I hope you have a good night and good luck to you.
Perfect.
How about that?
Yeah. Have a good week.
Can't sue me now.
Bye bye.
Bye.